Answer this question for me, if you will, and I'm not being facetious. In a near-death experience or an experience that is out of your control and you're confronted with meeting your end, why is it so many people without belief seek God?
Do you have some statistics on how many people see God who didn't already believe in him?
I've seen a lot of people on their deathbed start talking about God as they're getting ready to
They're
go.
freaking terrified, sir. I mean, terror is, we talked about this earlier. I don't know if you've been watching the show all evening, but, you know, fear is a great motivator to force people to start adopting beliefs that normally they wouldn't. This is why Christians are continually asking us, you know, what if you're wrong? That is a direct attempt to scare us with the threat of hell, which they also can't prove, into going ahead and signing up for the religion. When somebody's on their deathbed, it is really no surprise for them to you know, out of sheer terror, to go ahead and adopt the belief. That does not mean they've got the slightest bit of evidence to support it. It's understandable, but sad.
I think there's actually a little bit more to this. First of all, if there was absolutely no explanation for the phenomena that you're talking about, that doesn't mean that we should leap to the conclusion that it's true. It needs actual evidence to support its truth. The way I would answer this is really to pose a couple of other questions back at you, and I realize it's not always fair, but they're more rhetorical. Why is it that when people on their deathbed do see visions, and not everybody does, but of those who are recorded, why do they always see visions that match what their own beliefs already are? Why do Catholics see Catholic imagery, Protestants see Protestant imagery, Hindus see Hindu imagery, etc.? It's along the same lines of why are alien abduction stories always so similar? Surely that must be evidence that they're really being abducted. Now, what it's evidence for is that we're all humans connected through news media and books and movies and common experiences and conversations, and these things build up in the subconscious, and all of a sudden the idea globally of an alien, this meme within our heads of an alien, becomes a small gray thing with almond eyes and you know, a bigger than normal head and a smaller than normal body, and it becomes commonplace. And it's the same thing for somebody who's raised a Protestant or raised a Catholic. They see imagery that's close to that. It's why, you know, the Pope's more likely to see the Virgin Mary in a cracker than Martin Luther was.
One last question, well, two-part. What if you ever considered that you could be wrong?
Dude,
sure.
We just talked about this.
About 10, 15
Okay.
minutes ago.
Let me ask you, just before we answer this, are you a believer?
Yes.
Okay. What do you say is going to happen to us if we're wrong?
Oh, I think that you'll be blessed because of your ignorance and lack of direction. That's what I think.
So I guess if we're wrong, we'll be blessed. Nothing to worry about.
Well,
Thank you.
No, I just asked what you thought.
I think that
You're turning around asking me what I think.
Okay.
I'm sorry to labor you that way. I can see that.
Well, you know, if we're wrong, then there is a God.
Okay.
That doesn't tell us which one, right? Like I was saying to an earlier caller, what if it's Odin? If it's Odin, they're not going to let me into the big longhouse with all the warriors preparing for the Battle of Ragnarok.
I appreciate that.
Huh?
I appreciate that. You're a bit condescending when you do talk to some of us.
Dude, come on. This is why should I? Wait, hold it. You asked me what if I'm wrong. What are you asking me if I'm wrong about?
I'm a little frustrated.
I'm not just wrong about your. Would you put this guy on hold?
He is on hold.
I'm not, you know, atheism is not anti-Christianity. Atheism is the lack of belief in gods. I don't believe in your God any more than I believe in Odin. So if you ask me, what if I'm wrong, there is, as far as I'm concerned, as much chance that if there is a God, that it's Odin, than that it's your God. Or, you know, or it could be Isis, or it could be Zeus. I don't know. They all look fake to me. Now, yet, you know, that it is a common tactic. Once again, speaking of, we've gotten a wonderful cavalcade of standard Christian responses on this episode. It's a common tactic among believers when faced with serious objection and disagreement with their beliefs, to turn around and say, oh, well, you're condescending, or oh, well, you're mad, or oh, well, you're closed-minded. Why don't you respond to the words coming out of my mouth instead of trying to win by denigrating my character? If your beliefs are right, make your freaking argument. Ready? Is he gone?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
That was good. Is that the
Go.
only way you
Make
can
your
have
argument.
that conversation is by putting me on hold? Please.
If you won't shut up,
Fine,
that's what
thanks.
we'll do. Your turn. Make your argument. Why should we believe in your God?